Good morning and welcome to Paul T's World. And in this video, we're going to have a look at my garden in very early April and see what's in flower. The aubrietia look absolutely gorgeous in all the gardens at this time of the year. But the pyrrhus, this is forest flame with its little red leaves. And of course the bells. Now what's quite interesting is half the plant seems to have the bells and half of them have the new red leaves. Let's just have a look on the other side at these bells. So as you can see here, we've got the lovely white bells. And then at the top part of the plant, no bells, but we do have the red leaves. And just under this pyrrhus, we've got the candy tuft. I did cut this candy tuft right back because I had some vinca growing in amongst it. And I'm not a fan of vinca. It just gets in amongst the roots of the other plants. But it's starting to grow again and flower. So that's one of the candy tuft. The other one is this one here. I don't usually shoot videos in the sunshine for obvious reasons. It's difficult for me to look into the camera. My shadow is everywhere. However, the sun has been shining every day for days, and it's still going to shine for the next number of days. So I thought I'd just come out and shoot regardless, even though the sun's in my eyes, you can see the shadow of the camera, but I suppose it does show all the colours in their glory and with a lovely blue sky. Here we have the Berberis darwinii. It also produces berries that the birds like. It's not invasive in Britain, and we use this plant a lot. Lovely hedging plant as well. One thing that's happened this last week is I had someone come in and jet wash the block pavings of the driveway and the steps. They did a nice job. However, they literally sandblasted the plants. This is the Magnolia stellata, which flowers beautifully every year, totally reliable. A nice smallish plant, it doesn't grow that large. I haven't pruned this back at all in 20 years. It does like ericaceous soil though, and my garden is slightly acidic, which it likes. And just underneath we have some of the hellebores just going over now. Next to the magnolia is the rhododendron. Nice big blooms on this one. When they come out, which will be shortly of course. This is a blue one. This flower's blue and is always much later than this other one. And here we have a very old pyrrhus. I've moved this a couple of times with redesigning the garden. It's actually a variegated one. Here's the variegation. The part of the plant, the main part of the plant hasn't done so well this last few years, but it's sent off the non-variegated more vigorous branches, and so I've left those because they still look nice, and of course they still have those red leaves in spring. Oh, I can just see what's this one called? Japonica. Oh, I can't remember the exact name. I'm going to dig this up and bring it forward because it's actually doing really well in spite of the fact it's fully in the shade. It's behind this Pittosporum, but that one is going to be brought forward into this new long border that I've got. And this is the border that I'm redoing. I've got the basics here I'm going to leave, and that's the azaleas here. So we've got the evergreen azaleas here. We've got a deciduous azalea. A little rhododendron. More evergreen azaleas, and two really nice deciduous azaleas behind. When they start flowering, they're gorgeous. And behind that we have a lilac Kim, and when this flowers it's absolutely gorgeous, but I have neglected it over the years. So once this has flowered, I'm going to prune it back and invigorate it. The scent from this when it does flower is superb, because it's starting to overshadow the peonies I've got back here, which just shows me how much they grow forward. I hadn't even noticed till I saw that it's gone right over these peonies. So I've been cutting back this border. It's a bit of a mess right now. We've got the forsythia. I'm going to look after this more now. As soon as it's finished flowering, I'm going to cut some of it back, and I'm also going to take out a third of the branches, thicken it up. In front, I have a flowering currant. It was getting far too big, and so I've cut it right back. And as you can see, when you cut a shrub right back, it sends up lots of new thick growth from the base, which is brilliant. So this is going to look good in a year or two. Because what happened is I had this really large flowering currant. I had the viburnum, which is no longer here. It was far too big, and then it snapped in the wind in the winter, and this poor little cistus could not get to the light, and so look what it's done. It's grown up straggly. Some of the base has died, and it's a shame because that was a lovely cistus. Now, can I retrieve it? I don't know. I've cut back the massive mophead hydrangea. It's been in the ground 25 years, and I think it's time that it was cut right back, which is what I've done, and I'll let it grow again. This is a Philadelphus that I cut back a few years ago. I really cut it back too hard, and it's starting to grow again now. The Amelanchier is just starting with its blossom. This is why you buy this tree, for its blossom and its autumn colour. Let's see if we can get a close-up of the blossom. What a sign of spring, just look at this. Absolutely gorgeous, particularly with the blue sky. It stays quite small, and so it's a suitable tree for smallish gardens. So I haven't pruned this back at all. I have taken some of the lower branches off, but I think I planted this about maybe 10, 12 years ago. Right in the middle of the lawn. All the blossom of the cherry tree starting to fall now. Let's go and have a look in the back garden. I've got this really big viburnum, that I'm going to cut right back again as soon as the clematis that's growing through it has finished flowering. We've got a Brunnera here flowering away. There's a bumblebee liking the flowers. A second viburnum. They flower in the winter, but looking at this, they flower nicely in the spring as well. I'll have to cut this back once it's finished flowering. Just passing a lilac straight to the flowering currant. I do like these because they flower so early in the spring. Here's yet another Pyrrhus actually. And again, look at the bells at the front and the fresh red leaves at the back. Marsh marigold is in flower. And the other flower I can see here, I've been doing a lot of gardening this last few days, splitting shrubs and doing all sorts, which I'll show in another video. I've almost finished the lawn bed with what I'm going to do this year with it. Lots of perennials such as Rudbeckia, Echinacea in the middle there that will be really tall. Also the Turkish sage. I dug this up and split it into 4 little pieces, and the Doronicum. I also split this a few weeks ago, not that long ago, into about 4 or 5 pieces. Literally dug it up, put a spade through the middle and replanted it, which is exactly what I did with this little Dicentra, fernleaf Dicentra. And I saw in another part of the garden it had seeded itself. So I dug those up and popped them here, and there they are doing quite nicely. I really like that, dividing perennials. The shed bed needs far more work, but it's going to be okay. I was given some phlox by a neighbour, so I've split those and popped them there. Here's some epimedium. I cut this right back to the ground. It's got some new leaves and it started flowering. Also flowering here are I think these are Jack Frost, aren't they? Brunnera. Lovely. And behind the Brunnera is a self-sown honesty, white honesty. They always self-seed around here and I leave them because I really like wild honesty. The Spirea is coming into full flower. Once it's finished flowering, I'll cut back all these flowering stems so it'll grow new ones for next year. And something I must show you straight away are the tree lilies. Look at this, this is a big bruiser. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see how tall this one grows this year. And there's another one there, and obviously a little baby one there. Originally I planted 3. One of them must have died off, but I've still got 3. I hope you've enjoyed our look around my English garden in early April, and I'll see you next time in Paul T's World. Bye.